Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your support. Today we have a very good topic as always. My name is Isaac Palacios with put a little bit of music on me, put a little excitement, yeah? Okay? Go ahead, it's okay. Alright, so thank you so much, guys. My name is Isaac Palacios. On my right, Henry Quinteros from Maximum FICO Score. We're happy to talk to you today. Today we have a bunch of questions that you may have, you have asked yourself in the past, and we're going to answer some of those questions for you. However, if you do have a question that we did not answer for you today, I would like you to send us a text, a message, contact us with any type of questions you may have today. Today we have a very good topic. We're going to talk about questions and answers. Does checking your own credit hurt your credit score? Those are one of the questions that we have, but we have so many questions that we want to answer for you. Once again, my name is Isaac Palacios with Henry Quinteros with Maximum FICO Score. Thank you. There you go. Perfect. All right, so you can hear me better, you can see me better.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Ok, bienvenido, Henry.
Todo bien, mira por aquí.
Henry
Ya,
va a empezar a hablar inglés en estos momentos. All right. So una de las preguntas que tenemos ahorita, and some of the questions that that we've been asked several times by our clients, and we want to just go over with you. Question number one: how does checking your own credit hurt your credit score? So we want to answer some of those questions. According to TransUnion on July 2017, credit literacy survey shows this. A lot of people think so. So about, in the United States, a lot of consumers actually included it in the survey, and nearly half of them are checking their own credit. However, when you're checking your own credit, you do something what is called soft inquiry on your credit report, so it doesn't affect your credit score. However, if a lender does check your credit score, that means you're gonna get something what's called hard inquiry, and it's going to show up on your credit report. Fortunately, this isn't sometimes the case when some lenders are willing to run your credit report under what's called advantage credit, which is soft credit. So as many members know that checking your credit score through Credit Karma, it's actually does not affect your credit score at all. They do something what's called a soft inquiry on your credit report, so it won't negatively impact your credit report. So now I just have other questions that I want to answer for you, and what other questions or misconceptions do people have about credit? So a lot of factors. This is what actually I was putting all these questions together, making sure that we are going to be able to answer any of those questions for you. And I want to go over real quick before we bring Henry in. So the factors that actually make up your credit score. This may be a little different from what you think. The reason why may be different because everybody has different type of accounts or different lenders reporting on your credit report. But let's dip a little bit deeper into this type of questions that we have. How is your credit? So one of the questions that we asked our clients, how is your credit? For most people don't realize that their credit score changes every month. So for example, if you adding more debt into your credit score more likely will go down. If you're paying off debt, your credit score more likely will go up. So credit bureaus, they have 30 days to report. All the creditors, they report instantly a new debt on your credit report or whenever you use your credit card. So remember, one of the biggest mistakes that most people do is they run your credit report and you don't know who is running your credit report. So don't give up your personal information first for companies to be running or checking your credit report. And the reason why, because most of the people that we help, they either want to buy a car, they want to buy a home, or they want to refinance the current mortgage that they have, or they want to refinance the current car loan that they have. So this is very simple, right? This is very simple, and the sense of how most people really are willing to help others. So I wanted to give you the heads up, okay? Bienvenido, Henry.
Bien, mira, ¿cómo estamos? Estamos viendo que hay bastante información ahora, bastante trabajo por comenzar a comentar y comenzar a ver cómo es que lo podemos ir trabajando, ¿verdad? Sabiendo que una de las primeras preguntas es cómo es que daña revisar tu revisar el reporte de crédito, si es que afecta o no tu reporte de crédito, ¿verdad? Y creo que más que afectar es un tema de un hábito que tenemos que comenzar a construir, ¿verdad? Para poderlo revisar, para poderlo saber lo que estamos, cómo es que tenemos, cuál es el camino que hemos estructurado, si hemos cometido no es cometido un error, sino que si es que se ha actualizado mal nuestra información y cómo podemos solucionarlo, porque esos tipos de problemas son los que van afectando nuestro reporte, nuestro score y sobre todo nuestro reporte de crédito, ¿verdad?
Ok, perfecto. So, la mayoría de gente es realmente una pregunta sencilla, ¿verdad? ¿Cómo está su reporte de crédito? La respuesta es sencilla. Realmente para algunas personas contestarlo posiblemente sea complicado, según la estadística. El reporte de crédito, que es aparte de eso, tu puntuaje de tu reporte de crédito, es decidido si es que usted lo aprueba por un préstamo, sí o no. Realmente para la mayoría de las personas, su sueño es realmente poder rentar una propiedad, comprar una propiedad o comprar un carro. So, prácticamente lo que nosotros estamos haciendo es dando la información a ustedes para que ustedes puedan tener mejores oportunidades para que puedan comprar su propiedad, ¿verdad? Nosotros le vamos a dar las preguntas que nosotros frecuentemente nos preguntan a nosotros y nosotros les vamos a contestar debido a lo que nosotros contestamos a nuestros clientes. Otra de las preguntas es, mucha gente se confunde acerca de lo que es el crédito. Acuérdese que no se preocupe, no está solo. Realmente dentro de las cosas nosotros le vamos a dar paso a paso para que usted pueda seguir y pueda tener una mejor inversión cuando tenga que usted mejorar su reporte de crédito. Si tú realmente estás en el proceso de prepararte para comprar una propiedad, comprar un carro, o simplemente ya compraste una propiedad pero no tienes un crédito o puntaje adecuado, este es el momento para que se pueda preparar. Nosotros tenemos programas en Maximum FICO Score y eso es lo que nosotros vamos a dejarles saber a ustedes.
Y de eso se trata, ¿verdad? El tema de comenzar a comprender cómo es que se trabaja nuestro reporte de crédito, cómo debemos de estructurarlo y sobre todo que vayamos comenzando a entenderlo, sobre todo porque al principio puede resultar un poco complicado y pensar que es muy difícil el tema de qué tipo de metodología utilizan para ir sumando, sabiendo cómo es nuestro reporte de crédito, pero al final si tenemos 3-4 pasos fundamentales bien estructurados, conociendo y sabiendo cómo es que funciona, va a ser mucho más fácil para nosotros irlo reparando, y eso es lo que he ido viendo en relación a todo este tiempo, ¿verdad? Mientras ese fundamento tú lo tienes bien claro y sabes cómo darle el paso a paso, poco a poco se va arreglando tu reporte de crédito y se va transformando. Sobre todo porque no tienes que batallar tanto. Al principio puede ser que cueste el tema de hábito, pero ya después mejora poco a poco, ¿verdad? Y gradualmente y sobre todo mucho más grande.
Okay, so the questions that most people have is does checking your own credit hurt your credit scores? The short answer to that is no. If you do it yourself, if you hire a company such as a lender for a home loan or a car loan, they usually run something what's called a hard inquiry on your credit report. But soft inquiries like Credit Karma or when you use annualcreditreport.com, it does not affect your credit score. Just once again, it does not affect your credit score. Lenders have application checks for hard inquiries and can actually impact your credit score up to 12 months. So I've seen a lot of people, they have more than 5 hard inquiries on the credit report. If you're doing it within 12 months, it's not as bad. But if you're doing it within the 1 month, within 30 days, hard inquiries, that actually is going to affect your credit score. So the impact that it does on your credit report, it varies, depends on what company does it or how often you've been doing it. So instead, I'm going to give you some tips, and you want to do this, right? So you want to review your credit report from Experian TransUnion and Equifax. Why you want to do that? You want to make sure that if you give access to any of these companies that you wanted to go and apply for to get a car, but they actually run it way too many times, and you did not give them the authorization to run it 10, 15 times, and I've seen it up to 30 times. So make sure you ask the Bureau's Experian TransUnion and Equifax to remove that information that they did not have authorization to run their credit report. Now, you need to do the second step, which is set calendar reminders to check your credit report monthly. There are companies like IdentityIQ.com. They can actually help you to monitor your credit report. But if you don't want to pay a credit monitoring company, Credit Karma will be one of the best tools you can have. But also you can open an account with Experian TransUnion and Equifax. They can help you to monitor your credit report, and you don't have to pay to do this. If you do want to have alerts and stuff like that, yes, they will charge your account. So the tips that I want to give you also is for you to dispute any type of errors or any type of accounts that are shown in your credit report that you see that it is not your account. So how you want to dispute these errors, I want to show you how you do this, okay? So step by steps, I'm going to give you some of the steps on how we do it so you can do it yourself.
Para comenzar, el tema de si consultar nuestros reportes nos afecta, eso termina siendo de lo que hablamos al principio, y es que es una consulta suave, no es necesario que nos afecte, sino que más bien es un proceso en el cual podemos nosotros involucrarnos y comenzar a trabajar nuestros reportes de crédito. ¿Por qué hay que revisarlo? Es porque así vamos a tener claro cada cuánto tiempo se va actualizando y si se va actualizando correctamente. Los tips o recomendaciones son tanto que se puede visitar en annualcreditreport.com y pedir un reporte anual de nuestro reporte de crédito en nuestro buró, o a través de Credit Karma u otras compañías. De igual manera, si uno consulta los 3 burós principales, que serían Equifax, Experian y TransUnion, nos va a dar la clave para ir sabiendo cómo ir actualizando nuestra información. Y al final, sobre todo, lo que debemos de entender es que si el reporte de crédito tiene algún error o nos damos cuenta de que hay alguna cuenta extra o que no reconocemos, la podemos digitar o ver que se corrija, ¿verdad?
Okay, perfect. One of the questions that we also get is, why did my credit score drop? I am sure it probably had happened to you, and you don't know what causes your credit score to drop. I'm going to give you some of the causes, the reason why your credit score may drop or had dropped in the past before. One of them is payment history. If you have a missed payment on your accounts, your credit score is going to drop anywhere from 50 points all the way up to 75 points, sometimes even more than that. Another way that your credit score will drop if you have used your credit cards in the past. So if you spike up your balances, that means your balances rose anywhere from 10% all the way to 60, maybe 75%. So your credit score eventually it's going to drop. Even if you paid the account before the due date, actually your credit score will drop. So make sure you keep your accounts in check. Make sure you check your monthly statements, making sure that you have a very low balance reporting on your credit report. The third thing, and the reason why your credit score will more likely will drop, is because you have applied for new credit. So hard inquiries that we were talking about before, or new accounts, will temporarily drop your credit score. For example, I used my credit cards, one of my credit cards, to buy some equipment that we needed. My credit score dropped around 21, an average of 25 points on all 3 bureaus. So the reason why it dropped, because my balance went up. Now that I pay off that balance, 2-3 weeks later, my credit score went up again. So another way that it will drop, it actually just happened to me last week. An account was closed. I purchased some jewelry accounts several years ago, and I never really used that account anymore. So since I was not using it, they decided to close the account on me, and my credit score dropped about 15 points. That usually will happen, and because they closed the account on you, your credit score will drop anywhere from 15 points all the way to 35 points, sometimes even more, depends on what type of account it is. So remember, if you do have any negative accounts on your credit report, that will also trigger to drop your credit score. Negative accounts such as late payments, charge-off, collections, or anything that is reported negative on your credit report will definitely drop. So, and also your credit score will drop if there's a data error on your credit report. That means somebody is misreporting that information on your credit report. It will definitely drop. So, and also I'm going to give you the steps on how you can fix that your credit score. Okay.
Entonces, esta pregunta que es sobre todo para ver cómo es que bajan nuestros puntajes de crédito, tiene diferentes causas. Esas diferentes causas están relacionadas siempre con el historial de pago. Creo que la parte del historial de pago es la parte más importante porque tiene un peso muy grande en nuestro reporte de crédito, alrededor del 35%. Entonces, si nosotros controlamos nuestro historial de pago, que siempre sea a tiempo, que no tenga ningún retraso, sobre todo que no sea retraso más de 30 días, 90 o 120, porque se vuelve algo muy negativo en nuestro reporte. Si lo llegas a obtener o tienes que comenzar a negociar con estos acreditadores, que ya no vas a volver a caer en esto, y sobre todo si te comprometes a no caer, ya no volverlo a hacer, ¿verdad? Eso es lo más importante de todo esto. El aumento del uso, que es otra de las causas, te da siempre la importancia de que debemos saber cómo utilizar nuestro crédito, pero al mismo tiempo pagarlo, ¿verdad? No es solo utilizarlo por utilizarlo, sino que saber la manera de cómo utilizarlo, irlo trabajando, y tenemos la oportunidad de pagarlo, es mucho mejor. Si logramos pagarlo antes de la fecha límite o de la fecha de corte, nuestro puntaje puede ser afectado en un tiempo, pero mejorado posteriormente. Los nuevos créditos o consultas a veces dañan, sobre todo cuando lo estamos haciendo repetidamente y en un corto periodo de tiempo. Eso es lo que nos da siempre el error más grande. Entonces tenemos que saber controlarnos en el tema de cómo abrir nuevas cuentas, y sobre todo abrirlas con un objetivo fundamental o principal, ¿verdad? No solo ir a preguntar por preguntar. La actualización el cierre de las cuentas también es algo negativo, porque si comenzamos a cerrar cuentas que son cuentas de bastante tiempo, acortan nuestro reporte de crédito, y el acortar o tener un tiempo pequeño hace que nuestro puntaje baje. Mientras si mantenemos cuentas positivas y de bastante tiempo, aumentará nuestro puntaje. Cuando cae en el tema de positivo y negativo, también es algo importante. Si comenzamos a tener cuentas negativas, va a ir bajando nuestro puntaje. Y al final, el tema de los errores de datos. Siempre hay que actualizar nuestra información, hay que estarla chequeando y revisando que nuestros datos sean los correctos, que los acreditadores hayan agregado nuestros nombres correctamente bien, para que esto no dañe nuestro reporte, ¿verdad?
Okay, perfecto. So now that I gave you the reasons why your credit score dropped, I'm going to give you also that recipe for you to make sure this is how you're going to fix it. So step by steps. One of the things that we always do is pull your credit report, a brand new credit report. That credit report will include all the accounts of creditors on that credit report that you want to check on. And your credit report you're going to be pulling up from, it's identityiq.com, or you can just get it from annualcreditreport.com, and you're going to get it from Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. So once you pull your credit report, the second step you're going to do is compare over the month of changes. If anything that it's on your credit report, you need to bring it to attention and make sure you dispute that information. You're also going to check number 3, it's pay cards. Most people recommend 30%. I do recommend less than 10% of each limit. That means ideally I want it to be around 10% or less, and the reason why, because the lesser you have it, the better it is on your score. And number 4, if you don't have automatic payments, I like you to please set up auto pay for minimum payments. That means is to protect the monthly payments. history, so you will never go into default of any of those loans, because we already know that if you make a late payment to your credit report, it's going to hurt your credit score. Number 5, this is something that you should do if you have any type of errors on your data or any information on your credit report. That means you're gonna dispute any type of inaccuracies under the FCRA. More below, and I'm gonna give you more information regarding about how we're gonna fix that. Okay.
Ok, entonces si hablamos del tema de cómo solucionar esta bajada, tenemos una receta o un método para poder hacer esto, ¿verdad? Y son estos 5 pasos que son muy fáciles. Primero, sobre todo, lo más importante es solicitar nuestro informe de crédito actualizado para las 3 agencias principales, TransUnion, Equifax y Experian. ¿Por qué? Porque así vamos a saber qué es lo que está bien y qué es lo que está mal. Así vamos a tener un panorama de qué es lo que está sucediendo ahorita. Después hay que comparar los cambios mensuales o los cambios mes a mes. Si ya contamos con esta solicitud de mes a mes de ir pidiendo nuestro reporte, vamos a ir viendo los diferentes cambios que tienen, el aumento o el decremento del puntaje, y eso nos dará la pauta para saber qué disputar y qué no. Otro de los pasos es el tema del uso de nuestro crédito o nuestras tarjetas. Por lo general, y la regla es que usemos el 30%, pero esto nos dará nada más un porcentaje de puntaje relativo. Si bajamos ese uso a un 10%, y en eso hay muchas técnicas, sobre todo es o pagar el uso que tenemos o también solicitar aumento de nuestro crédito. Entonces, si hacemos que ese 30% de uso baje un 10%, eso hará que nuestro puntaje comience a subir mucho más rápido, ¿verdad? De ahí está el tema de configurar automático los pagos mínimos, sobre todo por el tema de no olvidar que debemos de mantener un historial de pago positivo siempre. Entonces, si logramos configurar esa parte de pagos automáticos, nos dará la pauta para no olvidarnos en algún momento que algún pago, y que ese olvido y ese tema de que un pago no caiga en el tiempo nos dé un decremento, ¿verdad? Y por último, el tema de reclamar o disputar cualquier error. Esto, recuérdense que siempre por la ley de derecho del crédito, la FCRA, nos da la oportunidad de poder disputar cualquier información que no tengamos, que no estemos seguros de que sea nuestra información o que no esté correcta, sobre todo el tema de nombres o el tema de duplicado. Hoy que estuvimos haciendo las actualizaciones, vi que, ayer que estábamos haciendo las cartas, contestando a los acreditadores, o donde te das cuenta de que la compañía de colección te está cobrando una cuenta, pero en tu reporte de crédito aparece ya duplicada, ¿verdad? Porque bastantes colectores han ido publicándola sobre tu reporte. Entonces, ese tipo de problemas o cuentas negativas que están en tu reporte, siempre es bueno disputar para que se vayan eliminando y que te quede la que sí te corresponde, no el duplicado de todas las cuentas, ¿verdad?
Okay, so Henry, one of the questions that we also get from our clients is FICO Score versus Credit Karma Score, and what's the difference? So a lot of our clients they get the app with Credit Karma, right? But they also go to the bank and they say, well, your credit score is much less than what you have. So I'm gonna give you the reason why, because Credit Karma typically shows what is called Vantage Score. That's the soft credit score, while many lenders use what is called FICO version, that is a FICO 8, FICO 9, or FICO Auto or bank cards, which is different from the Vantage Credit Karma score. So each model weights actually data differently, so numbers that can be varied. So any bank will run your credit report, they will use FICO. Usually Credit Karma use Vantage Score only. So the tip that I have for you is track your record, track your credit report if it's going up or down, all across all 3 bureaus, which is Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, before you start shopping for a car or a home loan. So all the lenders which FICO version, they will use it to actually give you a loan, a car loan, or a mortgage, or any type of credit card. So be careful when you know what your score is, so you exactly know what to do in that case.
Para el tema del puntaje FICO y el puntaje Credit Karma, La diferencia es que utilizan diferentes modelos de puntuación, ¿verdad? Está el modelo FICO y está el modelo Vintage. El modelo Vintage todavía no lo entiendo muy bien. Si tú me llegas a explicar.
Es soft.
Ok.
Ajá.
Entonces, el modelo FICO es el que utiliza las cinco ramas diferentes, que es tanto tu antigüedad, tu historial de pagos, tu número de cuentas o mixer.
Realmente lo que es la diferencia de eso, Henry, es de que los bancos, por ejemplo los mortgage, van a usar siempre FICO, ¿verdad? Cuando tú sacas tu reporte de crédito de Annual Credit Report, va a ser Vintage Credit Score. So, no es realmente FICO, porque es diferente. Hay FICO número 8, FICO número 9 o diferentes FICO. Hay FICO número 4 o 5 versiones, exactamente. So, la mejor manera es de preguntarle al banco qué tipo de FICO Score ellos están buscando y ellos te lo van a decir, ¿verdad? Por ejemplo, nosotros tenemos IdentityIQ.com, puedes sacar tu Advantage Credit Score, right? Nosotros tenemos My Score IQ, puedes sacar tu FICO Score, ¿verdad? Son diferentes maneras, cuesta un poquito más caro, pero esa es una de las mejores maneras de cómo saber cuál es tu puntuaje realmente.
Ok, entonces más que todo es de investigar el tipo de modelo que
ellos están usando, correcto.
Y sobre todo, creo que lo importante también es poderlo visualizar con el tiempo, ¿verdad? Cómo es que va modificándose dependiendo de las transacciones o los movimientos que vas utilizando en tu reporte de crédito. Si ordenas tu información, si aumentas tu historial, si arreglas tu historial de pagos, entonces todo eso te va a dar el camino o el puntaje que tú deseas al final.
Okay, so one of the other questions that we get, Henry, this is actually all the time that we receive those phone calls, and when we talk to our clients that had signed up with our service, hey, how often the FICO score is updated? Well, the quick answer to that is every 30 to 45 days. But remember, all scores are recalculated whether a new data is posted or not. So most creditors report every 30 to 45 days. So often you want to check your account cut date. That means the closing date on your account. So you can actually make the payment before the statement close date. So this actually will help you to lower the balances so you can get that higher credit score. Your score isn't just on timer, it is an update on your data. What it actually does, it helps you to keep the score up once you pay off the debt before the closing date. The pro move that I want to give you is pay your credit cards on time, on target, anywhere from 3 to 5 business days before the statement closes. This is actually very, very important. The reason why you want to pay any type of debt before the closing date so they can report a much lower balance on your credit report. So to answer the question that Henry had, is a soft pull versus a hard pull. Why my score different from all soft pulls versus a hard inquiry? Well, soft pull, that means that you're actually ordering that credit report for approval, so no score impact on that when it's a soft pull. So that's the reason why I always advise my client, hey, get a soft pull and find out if they are willing to check your credit on a soft pull, so they can check and see if based on that credit score they have, they can actually give you the loan that you're looking for. So they, of course, they use different models, different banks, different creditors, different lenders. So, but you also, a lot of lenders, they want to use something what's called a hard pull. When you fill out the applications, you authorize them, and this may lower your credit score. And the reason why, because it's a hard pull. The hard inquiry shows in your credit report anywhere from 15 to 35 points, sometimes up to 75 points. So you want to make sure that they only run your credit score only once. The only reason why I ask most of my clients to go to any credit union, I like Valley Strong Credit Union here in Bakersfield, California. Go apply for checking or saving accounts, and you can apply for a credit card. And if you're planning to get a car loan, have them check your credit score and see what can you be approved for based on your income, based on your credit, based on the debts that you have, so you can get a much better terms and conditions on that new loans. So this is very important. The rule of thumb is the batch for shopping, meaning that I want you to check every lender up there, at least 3 to 4 lenders, so you can see they can give you a much better rate. At the same time, if you do this within, they have within 3 to 5 business days, it will actually not hurt your credit if you're doing it within those time. They say 30 days, but I seen your credit score get hurt when they do it more than 3 times in within 30 days period. Okay.
Ok, entonces para la pregunta de con qué frecuencia se actualiza el puntaje de FICO, tenemos de que por lo general se actualiza cada 30-45 días. Esto nos da siempre un periodo para poderlo trabajar. Creo que lo más importante aquí es que debemos de entender que esos 30-45 días es un periodo de tiempo para que haya una actualización de información cuando uno pide cuando uno discute y pide la validación de la información, las mismas compañías tienen ese tiempo para trabajarlo. Entonces por eso se necesita ese tiempo para poder actualizar el puntaje FICO. Y recordar de que cualquier modificación, cualquier movimiento o cualquier disputa, vamos a necesitar ese tiempo establecido para que se vea reflejado en nuestro reporte de crédito. Así que si disputamos para mejorar y eliminar ciertas situaciones negativas, vamos a necesitar ese tiempo para que se vean reflejados. De igual manera, alguno de los consejos es el tema de pagar las tarjetas antes de alcanzar el saldo deseado, de 3 a 5 días, antes del cierre del ciclo de facturación, para que el saldo reportado sea menor. Como estamos hablando del tema de bajar nuestro puntaje de utilización, entonces sería siempre importante pagarlo antes de que cierre para que pueda ser reflejado en nuestro puntaje. Ya de ahí hablamos de las consultas suaves y las consultas fuertes o duras. Estos dos tipos de consultas, las suaves no van a dañar nuestro reporte y las duras sí lo van a dañar. Las consultas suaves son consultas que nosotros mismos realizamos sobre nuestro reporte para saber cómo vamos o cómo va nuestro score. Entonces por eso se da la oportunidad de que no afecten. Y las consultas duras van siempre solicitadas por autorización y van a veces dependiendo de qué acreditador lo esté haciendo. Entonces esas no son recomendadas utilizar mucho, porque entonces ahí baja nuestro reporte de nuestro score en nuestro reporte de crédito. Y para finalizar también el tema de que es mejor no hacer varias solicitudes en un periodo corto de tiempo, porque va a dañar muy fuertemente nuestro reporte de crédito, nuestro score, ¿verdad?
Okay, so we have questions from our clients, and we're going over those questions that we mostly get here at Maximum FICO Score. Will paying off collections help my score? Well, in context, it matters. So I'm going to talk to you. Many newer scoring models, especially now that there are a lot of new models right now coming up, would reduce the impact of a paid collections versus some lenders that they look favorably, or meaning that they want to show you as a paid or a settled account. So you want to make sure that that when you're paying at collections, one of the best tips that I can give you is that to get a deletion letter from that creditor before you pay. Of course, a paid collections will show better on your credit report versus a non-paid collection on your credit report. However, most people believe that paying off collections, your credit score is just going to show, won't go up anywhere from 30 to 100 points. That's not the case, my friend. So to make sure that actually it's going to help your credit in a better way, is for you to get a deletion letter from any type of creditors collection companies that you may have an account. The best practice, if the debt is valid, it's negotiating right. That's one of the things that we do for our clients. If the debt is valid, then we try to negotiate that debt at a 25% of the total debt. It will go all the way to 50% sometimes. It depends how badly you want that credit score. Also, the number 2 is politely request a paper delete letter. This is something that is not guaranteed, but I promise you that if you're polite, if you know how to ask, if you know how to negotiate that debt, they will actually give you that what's called a paid for delete letter. Also, number 3 we want to make sure that you do this best practices in the sense of keep proof of every payment that you make or any type of settlement that you have for underwriting. So a lot of people unfortunately just give the creditors their bank account or their credit card account so they can charge that debt, but unfortunately they don't keep records of it. So we never advise you to pay a debt that isn't yours. We want to make sure that the account is actually validated, and we go through the process what's called the FDCPA, the Fair Debt Collective Practices Act. Make sure that all that information actually applies. So I'm going to give you a little bit more details on that based on that information that I just gave you. So bottom line, do not pay collections unless it is yours and unless you can actually negotiate that collection that you already verified, so they can actually remove it completely off your credit report from Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax.
Ok, en el tema de si ayudará a mi puntuación el pago de una cobranza, depende del contexto, y hay en algunas oportunidades que sí y en otras no tanto. Pero lo que sí sabemos es que ahora los modelos recientes sí muestran un impacto positivo en nuestro puntaje de crédito si logramos tener pagadas esas cobranzas tarde, ¿verdad? Entonces lo más importante aquí es siempre tener un método de práctica para que esto resulte de buena manera, y esto da en el tema de si una deuda es válida, negociarla por escrito. Lo primero que resulta es que como vamos a tener bastantes cuentas negativas, esas cuentas negativas pueden ser de que sean duplicadas o no, o pueden ser también de que no estén bien detalladas y deben de ser nuestras. Entonces siempre necesitamos validar esa deuda primero.
Correcto.
Después hay que solicitar la cancelación de la deuda. No es garantía, pero sí es necesario solicitarla, porque esto nos va a dar la pauta de lo último que decía, y el tema de no pagar ninguna deuda que no esté validada y que no sea nuestra. Y al final, cuando ya has negociado con esta parte, está en el tema de guardar el comprobante de liquidación, y esto nos ayudará para siempre tener un registro de que sí se han realizado, sí realizamos lo que nosotros dijimos y las compañías hicieron lo que ellos no acordamos, que es el tema de borrar una deuda o una cobranza que esté en nuestro reporte de crédito, ¿verdad?
Okay, perfect. So moving along with the questions that we have, because we only have X amount of time, so we want to go a little bit faster.
Okay.
The questions that I usually get to is, should I close a credit card or that I don't use? The short answer is no, please don't do that. And there is a reason why. I know that there is an annual fee to keep that credit card, but you can negotiate the annual fee for most of the credit card companies that you have. So the reason why you don't want to close an account is closing a card can actually reduce what is called available credit, raising your utilization. So when you close an account, just like it happened to me, and I started saying this that about a week ago, a company, Synchrony Bank, closed my account that I did not use for a year or two. I totally forgot about that card. I didn't have any balance. I did have what is called that automatic payments, so I was never late on that card, and I think it was like $10,000 credit limit on it, but they decided to close it. Unfortunately, they don't give you a call and say, hey, Mr. Palacios, should we cancel this account or you want to use it? They just close it on you. So the best advice that I can give is for that doesn't happen to you, make sure you use your credit cards at least once a year. So over time, it does affect your credits when you're closing an account. So because it kills the age of any accounts. So instead, keep it open. This is the tips that I'm going to give you. Keep it open, right? And only charge small charges on your credit card, and do the auto pay just like I do for all my credit cards, matter of fact. So, and also what you can do is ask for a credit limit increase. This is without a hard pull. This is something that you can actually do with all your credit card companies that you have, is ask them. If you have a credit card open for more than 6 months, ask them, hey, my name is Palacios, I have an account for 6 months or whatever time you have the account opened. I only have $1,000 credit limit on this. I'd like to see if you can qualify me to get $10,000 on my credit card. More likely, they're not going to give you $10,000, but they're going to give you at least $2,500, maybe $5,000 on it.
Ok, para esta pregunta, y la contestamos un poco rápido, el tema de cancelar una tarjeta de crédito si no se utiliza. Y recuerden que todo está basado en el tema de cuán grande es nuestro reporte de crédito. Si cancelamos estas tarjetas que han tenido un tiempo ya considerable, 5, 6, 7 años, entonces al cancelar estas tarjetas estamos acortando nuestro reporte de crédito y por eso nos va a dar un puntaje negativo si la llegamos a cancelar. Entonces relativamente no es necesario cancelarla, sino que hay que darle un mantenimiento, un uso relativamente moderado para que nos vayan ayudando a este trabajo. Y lo último que decías en el tema de negociar después de haber utilizado y después de haber tenido nuestra tarjeta de crédito por unos 6 meses y que la hayamos utilizado de buena manera, es decir, utilizarla y pagarla a tiempo y no mantener un saldo alto, podemos solicitar que aumenten nuestro crédito y eso nos va a ayudar a que también el tamaño de nuestro crédito se aumente, posiblemente la utilización baje y de esa manera tengamos mejores puntajes en nuestro reporte de crédito.
Okay. And one of the challenges that most people have, Henry, is not knowing what affects their credit or how it helps their credit. So the question that we have the most is what matters the most for my scores. Remember that payment history is 35%, so you never want to miss a payment or the due date, what is called. Something that I always talk on all the videos when we're talking about tips is always make your payments automatically auto paid. That's 35% of your payment of your credit score. Remember, if you miss the payment, it will definitely hurt your credit 35% or whatever score you may have. Number 2, the most, how are you going to increase your credit score? Credit utilizations. You want to keep your credit utilization between 9 to 30%, but never more than 30%. And the reason why you don't want to keep it more than 30%, not only the high interest that you're going to pay for that debt, but you're also going to be in debt and you're more likely it's going to take you a long time to pay that. But why you want to carry so much debt on your credit card when you can actually pay that debt? So remember, if you have X amount of dollars in the bank account, but you have a credit card still open, do your best and pay off that credit card balance as soon as possible. The reason why you're paying high interest rates on the card, anywhere from 18% to 30%, so it's not worth it to carry a high balance on the credit card. So also the third thing that we always advise your client, hey, remember, age of your credit is 15%. We were talking about not closing those accounts right earlier. So why it's important for you not to close in accounts? Because you have credit age. So the longer you have keep that accounts open, and for example, for myself, I have a little bit over 9 years since I have not missed any payments on any of my credit cards that I have. And I have roughly about 22 accounts that are open between personal and business. New credit cards is 10%. So avoid unnecessary card inquiries. So if you don't really need that credit card, don't apply for it. I know that the Christmas and all this time for shopping, it's gonna come actually just around the corner. So it's easy sometimes when you go to Macy's or any store, and they offer you to get an additional 10, 50% or 40% off of the merchandise that you're doing if you apply for a new credit card. If you don't really need it, don't apply for it. I know you're gonna be saving a little bit of money right there and there, but it's not worth it. The reason why, because you're gonna be more in debt if you already are in debt with few cards. Instead of that, pay off your credit card, bring your balances down as soon as possible.
Ok, para el tema de qué es lo que influye a nuestro puntaje de crédito, son 5 factores importantes. Los primeros 2 son los más importantes, sobre todo porque entre ellos 2 hacen más del 50%, es decir, el 65% de nuestro puntaje de crédito va en relación a ellos. Para el historial de pago es un 35%. Ese 35% en nuestro historial de pago es muy significante y por eso es siempre debemos de tener un cuidado importante de pagar a tiempo nuestros compromisos, ¿verdad? ¿Cuál es una de las técnicas que recomendamos siempre? Es configurar un pago automático mínimo para que no se nos olvide y que siempre ese pago nunca salga o quede evaluado como un pago tarde. El segundo factor importante es la utilización del crédito. Este va de un 30% y aquí más que todo lo que estamos buscando es que nuestra utilización esté en el 30% y si queremos aumentar drásticamente nuestro puntaje caiga a un 10%. Algunas de las técnicas, como lo que hablábamos en la pregunta anterior, es solicitar el aumento de nuestro crédito para que nuestra utilización baje. Después de ahí está el tema de la antigüedad, que es un 15%, y este habla sobre todo de no cerrar cuentas para que nuestra antigüedad aumente en el tema de nuestro reporte de crédito. El tipo de crédito habla de la gestión. Debemos de comprobar que somos capaces de poder manejar tanto un préstamo a tiempos o plazos como una tarjeta de crédito. Entonces es importante tener una diversificación de los tipos de crédito. Y por último, el tema del nuevo crédito, que es evitar que haya solicitudes de crédito innecesarias, no hacer tantas solicitudes duras o high inquiry, porque si no va a estar dañando nuestro reporte de crédito. Y para esto, este último es un 10%, para el tipo de crédito un 10% también, y la antigüedad un 15%.
Muy bien. So the next question that I have is, matter of fact, this is a question and a tip that I'm going to give you. And the reason why is because you have some challenges on your credit report, correct? So, and how do I dispute errors on my credit report? Well, we use the consumer law, FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. The reason why we use it is because everything on your credit report must be accurate, 100%. Everything must be accurate. Starting from your name, social security number, date of birth, addresses, phone numbers, even your employer information has to be accurate. Any other information that does not belong to you must be removed from your credit report. And this is what the FCRA gives you as a consumer law that makes sure everything is correct and accurate on your credit report. And these are the steps that we usually take with all of our clients, and we're going to give it to you. So what we do, we gather information from our clients. That means IDs or driver license, proof of address, statements or letters that our creditors are sending to our clients. So remember, you need a copy of your ID or driver license, proof of address, statements, or any information that you are receiving from any of those creditors. And list each of those items that we are going to be disputing based on your credit report, and we give you that is not mine or paid, or the date or the amount is wrong. So you want to make sure everything is correct on your credit report. And the reason why, once again, because under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, that everything has to be accurate on your credit report. And number three, we go ahead and send the dispute to the bureaus. That means Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, requesting them for them to update all that information on your credit report, because everything has to be updated. So all the furnishers, all the creditors, and the collectors must update all that information. If they cannot validate any debt or any collections you may have, they might remove it from your credit report. So what we do, we want to send all that information certified mail. You don't have to, but I advise you that you do. You want to keep copies of what you sent, because you want to document everything, the whole process when you're reviewing your credit and fixing your credit score. Bureaus generally take to investigate your credit report anywhere from 30 to 45 days. So be patient, be persistent through this process. And the reason why we're gonna tell you this, because we had a client a few months ago that came to us, and actually we did a podcast about that student loan went down close to 200 points, right? And the reason why, because they were in the process of changing the department of education, but he never really made any late payments on his credit report. So now all those accounts that are removed, deleted from his credit report, now it's updated to everything. So now his credit is almost 800 nowadays. So we congratulate our client for having this type of results. And I know that when you don't make those mistakes, and we have ways to prove it that it was not your mistake, they can actually update that information. one of the key factors that we use, the FCRA, references to three type of laws that we usually use. One of them is 611, 15 USC, 1681I. This is the dispute, the process, and reinvestigations of any type of accounts that we have. The second one that we use, the 609, which is the 15 USC 1681G. This is the right for you to file disclosures. And number three, the one that we use the most as well, is the 623, which is the 15 USC C and 1681 S2. This is actually the duties to furnishers to report the information accurately. And this is when we know for fact that they're using that information and it's not accurate. So we use this as a reference to all of our clients, and you can use it too. If you want to know more about how we do this, we can actually send you this information so you can do it yourself.
Ok, para el tema de cómo de cómo trabajar una disputa, tenemos que recordar que siempre estamos bajo la ley y estamos utilizando la ley sobre el reporte de nuestros datos justos. Eso nos ayudará siempre a trabajarlo de una manera ordenada y sobre todo con la oportunidad de saber de que estamos protegidos a través de una ley, ¿verdad? Necesitamos mantener siempre, hay un proceso y hay unos pasos. Necesitamos mantener siempre el tema de obtener toda nuestra información y cómo tener prueba de la diferente información personal de nosotros, tanto como la ID, tanto la licencia de conducir o también una prueba de nuestra nueva dirección y dónde está nuestra información. Podemos disputar cada dato y podemos disputar cada ítem, y ese ítem negativo se puede disputar de una manera donde nosotros determinemos si no es de nosotros, si ya está pagado o si tiene alguna información errónea que nosotros queramos que la corrijan y ver si de verdad es nuestro ítem o nuestra deuda que está hacia nuestro reporte, ¿verdad? Mandar estas disputas a través de los tres burós más grandes, Equifax, Traction y Experian, y hacerles ver de que nosotros a través de la ley nosotros podemos disputar y pedir la validación de cada uno de estos ítems. Después está el tema de certificar y ver que debe de pasar por lo general 30 días para una contestación. Nosotros debemos de pedir que en esos 30 días nos contesten y vean si la información solicitada está correcta. De esa manera, si está de una buena manera la información, nosotros vamos a poder o eliminar o después verificar si es necesario nosotros que darle el tratamiento a la información. Y por último, hay unas referencias que está la ley 611, que está referenciada a la 1681I, y esto nos ayuda a que podemos disputar cualquier información que nosotros o investigar cualquier información que nosotros no tengamos conocimiento o que no estemos completamente seguros que sea nuestra información. Está la 609, que esa está referenciada a la 1681G, y esta nos da que podemos disputar de una manera segura toda la información. Y la 623, que esa está referenciada a la 1681S2, y ese más que todo para el tema de que nosotros tenemos la oportunidad de disputar cualquier reporte o cualquier información que no sepamos que sea buena de nuestro reporte, ¿verdad?
Hey, thank you so much, guys. For our Maximum FICO Score, Isaac Palacios and Henry Quinteros would like to thank you. We are going to speed up a little bit the process of how we're doing. I know for a fact in the last 30 minutes we have given you all the tips that you can possibly have for you to fix your credit. Now one of the questions that I get, and we're going to go a little bit faster on this one, Henry, okay? Because we only have 15 more minutes left. How do I make a debt collector prove it that I owe a debt? Well, there is something, a consumer law, it's called the FDCPA. This is under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, the FDCPA, that you can request something what is called a debt validation. So within 30 days, the debt has to be validated, and you have to send this letter to that creditor who's asking you for you to pay or harassing you to pay. So they must provide details to verify the debt. Collectors, they cannot harass you during this process. They cannot use what is called deceptive tactics, and also they cannot discuss any of your debt with anybody else. These are the steps that we actually take for us to validate the debt. So we send a written validation request within 30 days. We need to get that information from our creditor. They don't send us this information back. They must remove it from all three bureaus, which is Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. So now ask the name of the original creditor, itemized amount, and documentation. This is very important because a lot of people, when you're asking or writing that debt validation letter, you want to make sure you ask the name of the original creditor and itemize the amount, and also any type of documentation that it can possibly get. If they cannot validate that debt, they must remove it from your credit report, and they need to stop all the collections and steps that they're using. One of the key factors that we always use is that 80915 USAC 1692G. This is to ask them to send us a validation of debt. All right. So the next question that we get is, why should I use if I'm a victim of identity theft? I know this happens to most of us, right? It happens to me when I was 19 years old. So what you want to do, make sure that you do what is called place a fraud alert with the bureaus. If they notify through all three bureaus, it's even better when you do it yourself. Consider a security freeze. We actually do a security freeze on the SAT bureaus, which I'm going to give you all the names for it, and you can text us or email us or just simply ask them questions. You also need to file with an FTC identity theft report, and you can do it. You can do it on this website. It's called identitytheft.gov. Also, you want to dispute any type of fraudulent accounts under the FCRA 1605B. That means you're blocking any information from your information to anybody else other than yourself. So you want to make sure that you block everything so they don't have access to any of your personal information. And you also want to create a documented timeline and keep all the correspondence simple. Very simple, okay? So this is something steps that we usually take, and we also wanted to show you the best ways you can rebuild your credit safely. We already talked about, Henry, about one-time payments. Make sure you make your payments on time. Make sure you automate all the payments that you have for any of the credit cards you have. We're asking you, if you want to increase your credit score rapidly, you can actually lower the balances of all the credit cards that you have. And the reason why you do that is because you want to increase your credit score and your debt actually goes down. So you start with the starter tools. This is something that we advise our clients to. If you don't have any credit, or you're having some challenges with your credit and you don't have a lot of trailheads in your credit report, you can actually order a secure card or a credit builder loan. One of the tools that we usually use from our clients. But we also advise our clients to get something what is called as an authorized user. Only will manage authorized user. If you're getting added as an authorized user, be sure those three things. One, they had never missed a late payment. They had never missed a payment. Number two, they have a very low balance on that account. And number three, the account must be open at least 12 months or more. The older the account is, the better it is. And report positive data. Consider rent utility. This is something, rent utility reporting. This is if you don't have a lot of trailheads, you can actually report your rent and your utility bills to your credit report. Yes, but you have to be careful. Also, if you have not been late on your rent or utility bills, go ahead and report it. But if you have been late, do not report it. That's not something that you want to do. And of course, you want to monitor all three bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax from all three bureaus. Make sure everything is done correctly. Okay?
Okay. Yo creo que lo que vamos a hacer para el tema del español con estas preguntas es que vamos a trabajar en la semana con videos cortos, para ir pudiendo sacar la información esta más detallada y que nos dé tiempo para ir trabajando los demás. No sé si quieres pasar a la siguiente pregunta.
Lo voy a hacer, okay. So we just wanted to make sure that you do understand that we're in Bakersfield, California, and anywhere in the U.S. actually we can help you. We provide compliant, transparent credit counseling and credit repair services. Obviously, our business is actually to help you. Make sure that you do have a good FICO score. Your debt to income must be low to buy a house, to buy a car, and actually feels better not to owe so much money on your credit. Also, we help you to get a copy of your credit report and we customize a plan for you and let you know what exactly it needs to be done under the FCRA and also the FDCPA. These are the rights that you have as a consumer for you to make sure all the accounts are reported correctly, and if any creditors that are harassing you, they must validate that debt, making sure that it's yours. If you have any questions, you can always book a free credit consultations at MaximumFICOScore.com, and we'll give you thoroughly information about how your credit score is on all three bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. So thank you so much. I know that we're going a little bit faster, and I know that we have a lot of questions, Henry, but we're gonna answer most of these questions on our videos throughout the week. So stay tuned for our videos with Henry Quinteros and Isaac Palacios from Maximum FICO Score. Muchísimas gracias, Henry. ¿Qué te pareció toda esta información que estamos dando?
Lo que estamos viendo es que es bastante información y cuesta a veces condensarla en poco tiempo, ¿verdad? Pero lo que vamos a intentar hacer es la otra semana volver a seguir donde nos quedamos y traer también videos cortos de entre la semana para poder ir tocando cada tema y así volverlos a dar más información cada día.
So, rapidito, nomás para darles lo que nosotros pagamos. Si te chequeas tu reporte de crédito, ¿te afecta tu crédito? La respuesta es no, si es solamente un soft inquiry. ¿Qué es lo que tú tienes que hacer para acelerar el puntuaje de tu reporte de crédito? Asegurarse que tú hagas tus pagos a tiempo y que bajes la utilización de tus tarjetas de crédito. Esa es una de las maneras más rápidas para que tu crédito pueda subir. Otra cosa, si tienes que cerrar alguna tarjeta de crédito, por favor no lo haga. ¿Por qué? Porque realmente esto le va a afectar a usted a largo plazo. También si que tanto tiempo cambie su reporte de crédito o su puntuaje de crédito, realmente los acreditadores reportan su reporte de crédito una vez al mes, dependiendo a qué compañía están ustedes, pero Experian, TransUnion, Equifax le da una actualización de su reporte de crédito cada 30 a 45 días. ¿Y cuáles son las leyes para que usted pueda utilizar para poder reportar cualquier información que no está correcta en su reporte de crédito? Tenemos la FCRA, que es el 611. También otras preguntas es qué es lo que nosotros podemos hacer realmente aquí en Maximum FICO Score. Lo que le damos es incrementar su reporte de crédito, borrar información lo más pronto posible para que usted pueda tener un crédito saludable.
Entonces prácticamente esta es parte de la información que vamos a trabajar y lo que tenemos que hacer en los videos poco a poco, ¿verdad?
Okay. Perfecto. Okay, muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. My name is Isaac Palacios with Henry Quinteros on Maximum FICO Score. We're going to be talking a little bit later. If you do have any questions or concerns, we would love to answer any questions you may have. Thank you. May God bless you.
Gracias, estamos en contacto.
Muchas gracias, señores y señores. Les agradecemos mucho de parte de Henry Quinteros y Isaac Palacios de Maximum FICO Score. Gracias por su ayuda.